All right, ladies and gents, welcome back to another covered game by Simple Math. Today with me, I have another Aussie. How we going? Feel free to introduce yourself, mate, for those who may not know you.
Hey guys, my name's Ben, from over in Perth, Western Australia.
Sweet. I'm just letting the boys know that we're ready to roll, and we'll get a prior roll coming in.
Easy
Uh,
as.
and today we've got another Aussie, Aaron, loaded, aka Loaded Dice, versus Leif, and prior just coming in.
Looks like we got 2 from Aaron.
And 3 from Leif, so Leif will be picking what he would like to do. And Leif's brought with us some Convocation.
Convocation, okay. I was interested to see what he was going to go with, given that he played 6 different affiliations in the qualification stages, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, the man has unlimited talent. It seems he's been able to bring whatever he likes and done such great success.
Yeah, I think a few people have tried it, but certainly no one else went 5-1 with it, so kudos to him.
He's also known as the Oceanic Slayer because he's actually undone Finks last game, and now he's versing our other boy Aaron. So
Mm. Yeah, so Aaron had a very successful qualification series going 6-0, one I think of the 5 guys to go 6-0. Been a bit of a Steve specialist this season after playing Sam Spam, I think, in previous seasons. So Convocation's a interesting matchup into the Avengers, given they're bringing a lot of mystic attacks, which will turn off a lot of the defensive abilities of the Avengers. Do you reckon that was a targeted pick?
potentially, I mean, like having these open rosters and having people like Aaron and others like Phil's also a known Criminal Syndicate player. I
Hmm.
mean, Morgan's also known for playing a lot of Avengers. Like having these open rosters allows for people to potentially anticipate what people are bringing. So there is that option. I mean, I know in game with Aaron that I had in our Swiss cut, he brought 3 pay to flips, knowing that I was been playing Kingpin quite a bit. So
Oh, hey, that's cheeky.
it was, and he did win prior, of course, as well.
Yep.
But it just means it enables players to kind of play that mind game, that cat and mouse sort of thing. So yeah, absolutely, I think it might be an option, and I love the inclusion of Nick Fury with the grunt synergy with the books. I mean, that's such a strong. Oh, and of course,
That is, yeah.
I did not notice that we've got the new Logan as well.
Logan the Wolverine. That's an
Yeah.
interesting selection.
All right, here we are. So we've got B-shape Infinity Formula and Spider Infected. Wow, 9 points on the table.
Okay. Locking in 17, which is nice.
Yeah,
I know that is everyone loves playing 17, right?
of course.
So
Uh,
Spider Infected and Infinity Formula, how do you see that combination going?
well, I know typically in the past, Convocation have been known for a lot of their extract plays, using their like turn one openings with things like the Nick Fury, as well as Doctor Strange's Scalpel, or even just the extra power with the Eyes on Prize plays.
Yeah, plus
And
also Lizard as well, like using Lizard and Beast medium-based medium movers and utilizing the bump on the leadership to go and grab an F extract on the other side of the board and kind of bump your way to safety.
yeah, good
Um,
call, absolutely.
Very strong.
Um, but he's not alone. I mean, Aaron's also brought his Hulk and his Eyes on the Prize card as well. So seeing a lot more of that like center line safe play. I suppose that's because of the Malkith and the Deception.
Yeah, it's definitely necessitated by the meta. So now these guys are definitely using the updated Malekith, which I think is probably why you're not going to see him. So I think Leaf was playing a bit of Malekith in the lead up rounds. Probably safe to leave that one at home now though, thankfully.
And just looking at the table, we've got two size fours quite close together, which will be on Leaf's side, and then some twos and threes scattered around. Now, obviously, you play Aaron quite regularly, and you're affiliated with his approach to the game, being a stave specialist. Do you think he's happy to see this many points on the table? Would he prefer to be a bit slower? Like, how are you thinking?
I think he probably preferred it to be a little bit more central. I know for his style of Steve, where he's using a lot of like layered defensive tools, whether that's Heimdall rerolls, like Black Panther's innate survivability. He likes to play like a centerline extract grab and then use the defensive tools that Steve does to kind of consolidate that. So having a more spread out map on the Bs can be a little bit more challenging. That said, Avengers, being Avengers, have a spread of basically whatever they want in their roster.
Absolutely.
So There's a lot of long movers, and being able to cross from one B to another is a lot easier when you've got long movers and Avengers Assemble. So the ability to work out where your opponent's going to be strong, and then collapse to the other flank, I think will be a lot easier for Aaron than it will be for Leaf.
So I noticed also he's obviously got Sam in there as an option. Do you think being so fearful of the potential of convocation, the mystic attacks they bring, and how wide it is, and how much he might appreciate the move, do you think we might see him switch into Sam potentially?
No, no, no. I definitely don't think so. I think this is a pure Steve roster. Um, and Sam, if he comes out, will come out because of things like airlift, and the long move, and the ability to like ricochet shots from like range four. Um, the ability to push people off points like Infinity Formula. You could definitely see Sam here, but I think it would be under a Steve leadership.
What I would love to see is the new Logan. I've yet to actually see him across the table. I've had a few games with Apex under things like Steve and stuff, and that's just been absolutely terrifying. So I'd love to see the new
Nice.
Logan
Yeah.
in action. Have you had much play or seen him in action at all?
Not the new Logan, no. I've had one game with Apex, but the new Logan, no. So we could see him here. You could see if he goes and tries to hold down one of the B signs while you consolidate all the other convocation characters onto the other flank. Um, Not sure how survivable he is. Offensive output's definitely there. But I would love to see it. I would also love to see it.
Now, while these boys decide on this, oh no, here we are. Got some action coming through. Um, just waiting for the
Tell you
roster.
one thing, Azza does not mess around. He's going to play fast. He knows what he wants to play. He is very to the point. Um, Used to playing on a clock, used from the War Machine days. So I think you'll see him be very quick with his time, make quick decisions, um, that sort of stuff.
And we are just waiting for Leaf's roster to open up. So I'll just wait because we can actually see it from the stream view on the side. But we'll just wait, mate. I just want to quickly grab your thoughts while Leaf finalizes. Elephant in the room. New big changes with the tactics and stuff like that. How are you feeling overall? Positive, happy,
Uh,
reinvigorated into the game?
Extremely excited, extremely excited. Like the combination of the new crisis changes, along with the Malekith nerf, is just a breath of fresh air. It really is. Like the meta felt to me quite stale and a little bit solved. And this is just a complete clean slate. I'm over the moon. I love it. How about yourself?
Oh, absolutely echoing your thoughts. I'm so excited. All my MCP chats on my phone have just been blowing up the last 48 hours, and my wife's been up my ass, just been like, mate, you gotta get off the phone. It's like, you
Just
don't
like glued to the
understand.
phone.
You don't understand. My world's been
uh,
changed.
Yep, yep. No, it's fantastic. It really is. Everyone's been, for context, I've only been playing the game for about a year, and even in that time, I felt the constraints of the kind of crisis system at the moment. So for people who have been playing it for 2, 3 years, however long it's been out, it would be amazing for them as well. So I think this is a great step forward for the game.
Yeah, very exciting times. It's been so long since the crises have been the sole thing that they've been focusing on as far as adaptation of the game, and obviously crisis being such a central part of how the meta defines and shifts. It's very exciting. I'm very excited to see the big boy meta kind of get squashed down a little bit, and we end up being a bit wider for things like senators and stuff, and
Mhm.
how impactful these new extracts will be. So very exciting.
Yeah, with the 10 extracts, 6 of them are only able to be held by one character. One's researcher, and three of the other extracts you're able to put multiple extracts on one character. So those 6 extracts being in the game where it's one per character it will potentially solve the big boy meta. Um, Fingers crossed, because yeah, this is let's go back to some classic MCP 5-6 wide. Be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've done one great stride with the Malkith adjustment, and this next step forward is another step in the right direction. I think a lot of people would
Mm,
agree with that. All right.
absolutely.
Looking back to this game, we're still just waiting for Leaf to finalise, but he with Prio obviously has a bit of an advantage with the odd number extract.
Hmm.
Do you think in this situation he's going to be going? Oh yeah, I was just about to say. Do you think we'll be seeing quite a wide roster from him? And we've got our answer.
Yep. Yep.
All right, starting with Aaron. We've got Sam, Hulk, Panther, and Steve, along with Patch Up, Smash, Avengers Assemble, Recal, and No Matter the Cost. Wow. All right, walk us through that, mate. You've obviously seen this playing against him before.
Yeah, so this is the long movie that we thought was going to come out here with Captain America, Sam Wilson. And Black Panthers, there's a lot of mobility here. Still has kind of like the Steve stuff going on with Hulk. And he loves to smash, like he does love to smash with Hulk, gets into interesting positions, we'll get some beams going. I think watch out for that one because we saw there was some big size 3 pieces of terrain in the middle of the board. Recalibration Matrix and Patch Up, which is kind of his stock standards defensive cards. So this looks like a pretty good tailored list for this setup.
Excellent.
How do
And
you
it
feel
goes,
about Leafs?
yeah, so with Leif, he's got the patented Nick Fury with the grunts. We got Voodoo, Baron Mordo. I love Baron Mordo.
Hmm.
Magic and Lizard. No Doctor Strange, so no eyes on the prize. But I suppose that makes sense, considering we've got viruses, so we can't pick them up. And then we've got Planar Poldak for our rerolls. Journey Through Limbo. Iron Books, of course. Fallback, Brace, and I think he'll be doing the Circle of Cosmos side of leadership. So
Yes.
I haven't played too much Convocation. I've yet to see a lot of Magic on the table, but I do love the Mordo inclusion. And obviously, with this affiliation, they're happy to stick the leadership card on either of these. But I think the inclusion with Nick Fury's release and the way that the agents interact with books has really propelled this team into a really good place. And like you were saying before, the inclusion of Lizard being a medium base, medium mover on a mission like this, threatening those back um, spider viruses, is a great pick as well.
Yeah, so that's definitely something to watch out for, because Lizard is probably not going to go down in one round with the bump to any of these kind of characters from Aaron over here. So I think Lizard will be pretty safe to go and grab one of those Fs. I really like the inclusion of Nick Fury here. Normally, Fury is not wanting to spend his power on anything besides Eye in the Sky. But with his range 3 gainer and also it being Infinity Formula, he'll be able to get those grunts out for 2 power every turn. And that is huge for a team like this that Aaron's presenting, where it's pretty much all physical. Having books online every turn is the potential to be absolutely backbreaking.
Absolutely. Leaf making. I know before they even finalised picking their rosters, he was looking at quite a lot of these terrain pieces, wondering where he could fit. And I think he's already identified that Lizard's just a stronger option on the far left side, considering that size 3 in the way. And then
Yeah,
he's
with
going to
his
be,
Warcaller, he
yeah.
can get anywhere he wants to.
And on the opposite side, we've got the shield agents. And so the reason why this is such a strong pick too is because these shield grunts can potentially activate in tandem with Lizard to again threaten that back virus. And if they get taken down, which they likely will, they obviously flick it backwards range 2 in range for someone else to pick up. So maybe someone like a Mordo or a Doctor Voodoo. Gosh, this team is
Mm,
fast, isn't it? Look how many
it
medium
is.
base medium movers there are.
I've played a bit of Convocation, and it's definitely one of the strengths of the affiliation. Um, Especially in tandem with the bump. It gets you to do some very interesting situations, especially in a live scenario like this one where there's the 5 extracts up for grabs. Now, were you expecting to see the Fury grunts go central and have a safe grab there with priority?
Well, I was just thinking that with Prio, is he going to allow Aaron to, basically play chicken and allow him to pick up the center um, for some sort of retaliation with potentially Voodoo? Because obviously Eyes of the Prize haven't come out for Hulk. But
But with the discounts from Steve's leadership, Hulk will be able to gamma for 2, pick it
of
up and
course.
walk back.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so he has an extremely safe round 1 centerline grab. So the the agents not lining up there is interesting.
Yeah, it just means that he's putting a lot of priority on these back points, potentially on Aaron's side, expecting Hulk to take the center. And I think in this matchup, given looking at the cards and the rosters that they brought, I think Aaron is the aggressor, considering he has the smash, the recal, and the no matter the cost, while Leaf is obviously looking to play the actual mission a lot stronger.
Absolutely. So no matter the cost here will be for Hulk, almost certainly. The chance to kind of get, you can cheat out a lot of his power economy, where you can get the spender online for 2, and potentially put him up to a next damage bracket if he only has like 1 on him to get an extra attack in there. So you can get some sneaky Hulk activations there. But so yeah, he's definitely the aggressor here, I would say.
Interesting that they're using the clock string deployment. I'm not fully across the rules for TTS as far as the clock use. Do you know if that's included in the deployment time as well?
Uh, I'm not certain. I'm not certain.
But as you
With the
said,
amount of points
Aaron's
on the
just whizzed
board,
through it.
oh, it's 59 seconds and he's done.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. He
Yep,
knows what's up,
yep,
obviously. He's got a
he
plan.
does, yeah. But I think the clock shouldn't be an issue in this game, given the amount of points that are on the table. Um, I think both these players will get through the things pretty quickly.
And
So Journey Through Limbo, Magic's like a less seen piece. I think she's gone with her here because of just to get it affiliated. You need that second affiliated 3 for this points levels to work. Incinerating someone and placing them within 3, he doesn't have the most attacking team. Do you think he'll try and use this offensively or just to try and clear a point?
I think I think essentially it's going to be an option for him to push someone off a point without giving them power with like trying to look for steals because his team, um, I mean, he does have access to Voodoo's throw and Lizard's throw, and even Mordo's pushes as well. So it's just another tool to utilize. The Incinerate's nice, maybe to combo with a Planar Poldak turn to really get the attrition going potentially on someone like a Panther and Steve for that clutch
Yep,
turn.
Incinerated Panther going into magic attacks or mystic attacks is not fun.
Exactly. All right, and we're seeing Grunts go up first, taking up that close extract like we were talking about before, putting pressure on. But I tell you what, you know who loves eating agents for breakfast? Is bloody Sam Wilson.
Yeah. Sam's a menace, man. Sam is a menace no matter what he does, so I look forward to some Sam hijinks this game. So another thing to watch out for as well, like Voodoo being immune to incinerates, Magic can always journey through limbo him. So if it gets to a situation where he needs to chase someone down, make an attack, get some power, do an extract steal, that is an option that Leif has up his sleeve.
Oh, interesting decision to pick up with Fury. It just means that without any assistance, even within formula, he won't. Oh, what am I talking about? We're not playing with Shield. There is no eye in the sky.
No, there's no eye in the sky. All he needs is 2 power return to bring those grunts back.
Yeah, exactly.
So the interesting thing here is if the grunts never get attacked, because it's not Shadowlands Daredevil or Electra where they have the ability to vanish. They are reliant on being attacked by Aaron to get those Ironbound books back up. So he's identified that Lizards was able to go and double walk and get that one, and Panthers grabbed his first spider.
I think Aaron's deliberately made the decision to not have Hulk pick up the center purely because of, it is being spiders and it affecting something like a piece like a 6-threat Hulk. If you roll poorly, it could really put him in, really affect with his activation. Interested to see where Leif wants to go next. Assume it's a lizard walk and grab and sit.
I think it would be. I think Lizard's fine facing down Black Panther on that flank.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially being wide. I mean, Panther a strike push off, he just walks back on, doesn't he?
Did we see who the leadership went on to? Was it Mordo?
It was Mordo, yes.
Okay. I like that. I think Voodoo is already a big enough target, and Magic wants to get up and close and fight, so Mordo is the obvious target there.
I think Aaron's kind of conceding the center at this point. Maybe Sam late activation to come grab the center. And I think Leaf's considering that as a threat. And maybe considering Lizard being the tanky option as he is, come picks up the center and maybe Voodoo rotates to that top side to face down Panther.
It's an interesting position if Voodoo does go up there facing down the 2 characters as well, if Hulk stays that side, because Voodoo is such a powerful piece in this matchup. Maybe less so because there's 5 extracts on the board. But I'm not sure I'd want Voodoo facing down 2 characters over there by himself.
We've got with us some people in the chat, of course. I mean, it's very late hours for us in Australia land and even very early morning for Leaf. But we've got Trent here from Australia coming along for the Giant, as well as Obsience X. My apologies.
Obeisance, I think is how it's pronounced.
Ah, it's too late.
Another Perth local.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep. Bit of local support for Aaron. G'day, guys. So Sam's just taking a move here. He hasn't paid the power, so it's not a charge. But he has paid the power.
And this is why Sam under Steve is just so strong into those agents, because that turn 1 charge, if he's able to take them out with that 1 shield throw, he's still able to pick up even with the pushback too.
Like we've got 3 into 1, so that will get them.
And with the ricochet and being within range of Nick Fury as well, he has the threat of potentially pushing Nick Fury off that point as well.
Which would really be interesting if we can get the push and not do damage. Actually, the damage is the push is relying on damage, isn't
It
it?
is. It is.
Yes. Okay. So irrespective, he's going to be able to get those shield agents back online next turn. This does, however, put Sam in an interesting position where Mordo and Voodoo can probably one walk and shoot him. Maybe not Voodoo, Mordo definitely. If he were to go pick it up.
He'd only get one round though, because I assume Steve would double walk up and put himself within bodyguard. But I'm wondering if they've picked up on the ricochet or not. Or perhaps, is it a must or is it a may?
Uh,
May. So he doesn't
May.
have to. So yeah, don't have to worry about that one too much if they miss it. God, Sam's such a good piece, isn't he? You look at his card,
It's
he just like
incredible.
anyone would be happy to have something like that affiliated, right?
Yep. And then you throw that leadership on top as well.
Ugh, disgusting.
I think he's one of the top kind of 3 characters that should be splashed more but doesn't.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I mean, I've even considered him in something like a Shadowlands Daredevil just to consistently get those pushes off as a control piece rather than an offensive piece. Plus the support he brings with his airlift, I think he's just such a great option for any team.
Yeah,
If they're look
absolutely. You
if they're
rarely
look
see leaders splashed. I think people kind of assume that there's part of their points value is baked into their cost, like with the leadership, so they don't get splashed much. But he's one that definitely should get splashed.
this might be the ricochet coming through. Ah, no problems there.
Nope, absolutely loves it. No, that is Sam activated. He's actually just that was the second action.
Oh, well, my apologies. All right, electing not to pick up, just forcing him to come a little bit closer to pick up.
That is interesting that he chose not to ricochet, but then made a second attack onto him. So I wonder if he just maybe
Maybe
a
he,
decision there.
maybe if, I just assumed Fury was putting himself within 3. Maybe I got that myself wrong because I assume he wanted the rerolls. But maybe Leif knew what was up and was what to expect and put himself outside 3.
Mm.
All right, so who do you reckon's going to pick up that loose extract now?
I think it's Magic. I think she's probably the most expendable of the 3 convocation characters. Mordo with the leadership, you don't want him going anywhere close to the front lines. And Voodoo as well. The 5 dice shield throw from Steve I've just seen it do some wild things, so I'm not sure you want to put him into range for that. So I think Magic is the choice.
Yeah, I'd agree. And I mean, Mordo only has 2 physical, so and with
Yeah,
with Aaron with Prio, he's just begging to be stared down. Now I think
yep.
Voodoo is the obvious pick to go and pick that extract, but I think that extract is it under danger from Hulk? Potentially with the reduce. Yeah, oh God, I keep forgetting
It
he's
would
under
be,
Steve.
yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yep,
Oh,
definitely.
so good.
It's fantastic.
And it's not going away anytime soon. I still think Steve, with all the shenanigans he's bringing, is going to be excellent into this new meta as well.
Absolutely. We could see a resurgence in Sam, to be honest. If there's going to be more characters on the table and a bit more attrition focus from things like Shadowlands Daredevil, bringing the rerolls back, like Sam could be the go.
That's very true. Ability to go wider, pick up all those senators they're going to be dropping on the ground all the time.
Yep, absolutely. So an interesting thing here for Aaron going into round 2 will be how he approaches the Ironbound books. Does he want to put pressure on here with Steve, walk up closer, try and threaten that with priority, the physical attacks coming in, bait it out, back off for a turn, and then and then go in hard on turn 3 or round 3 when there's no Ironbound books up, or does he just kind of like push all in? Like, do you think he'll go for it?
Well, he has to do something because at this point, if Magic's picking up that extract, he's going to be the one without parity. And I think Voodoo is the number 1 target at this point. I think Voodoo is the one that needs to be gunned down, and Hulk being on that side and a prio, I think he can set himself up for a good schwack.
Mm-hmm. So with the bump, he needs to essentially base Voodoo if he wants to be able to double attack him without having to Gamma Leap as well. The bump is such a good defensive tool. I'm assuming he's on the bump side, isn't he?
I assume so. I mean, assuming, yeah, let's just triple check. Yes, he is. Yeah,
It is,
Circle
yeah,
Cosmos.
absolutely.
Now, no, not electing to take his second restricted card. Leif is without any sources of healing besides healing factor. So any damage sneaking through is going to stick. So he is going to be relying on that brace to keep him safe from Hulk of attrition as well as the Ironbound book. So looking at Steve to pick up.
Mm.
Now that the threat of voodoo's gone.
I like this play.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, he's very likely to live. I mean, even with the mystic attacks coming in.
And should be getting into cover here as well.
Yeah.
So given the threats of the Ironbound books with the grunts, do you think he'll try and target down Fury first, or is it just all guns blazing for Voodoo and get him off the board?
That's a good question. I mean, what is Fury's mystic defense out of curiosity? It is 4. 4.
Four,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
four,
So
four.
books aren't really doing too much for him. So maybe? I still think
Because the books
Voodoo.
are doing a lot for everyone else.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. I think I'd be happy just to take out Voodoo and not worry too much about everyone else, especially now he's got extract parity and and prio. No. And smash. I
Lizard
mean,
would be the
that's
interesting one
that's
for me
size
as
3.
well.
Sorry, you go.
I was just going to say Lizard next turn. So if we're assuming that he's able to get Voodoo with Hulk with priority next turn, if Lizard pulls all the way back to the bottom of the table and tries to isolate those characters and consolidate the two spiders that he has on this side, I think you need to try and create separation away from Panther and Hulk.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's why Leaf has decided not to fully commit Voodoo onto that Infinity formula, just being a bit wary. Oh wait, curious. Oh,
He's not going to have anyone contesting that back Infinity.
yeah, has Voodoo activated? I assumed he did, but he just did a single move, or maybe he wasn't within one and needed to do 2 moves just to get to there. But yeah,
Well, if that was the case, he would have been able to straddle, I think, and pick up both potentially.
no, it just hasn't got
Or
a
maybe
green
not with
tick
the
me.
terrain there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Lizard also doesn't have a green tick, so I think he's just forgotten to place the activated tokens down.
All right, Mordo's taking a lick at Steve and gotten one cheeky one through, so getting some work started, and I think we'll see Magic come in and do a bit more of the same.
Okay, there's the 5th extract. It just popped up on the stream of yours, trying to work out who was holding it. So just Hulk to activate here.
Now, looking at this, I think it's a set yourself up with Prio, base Voodoo as best you can, and potentially even throw a card to maybe get some work started or even bring out the brace
Hmm.
and
Well, he's
save
actually
this.
going ahead here, isn't he?
He is, he is.
Yeah,
But you
so
want, but you want to set yourself up to get Voodoo in the dirt, I imagine, and even
absolutely.
and even potentially go on that Infinity Formula too. Yeah, nice.
So we've got a size 3 at the top there next to Hulk.
Yeah, we
Or is
might
that a
want to save
size?
that for Smash, right? Isn't that the?
I think he hasn't placed himself within 1.
Oh, it's within 1, isn't it? Yeah, that's right.
It is, yeah.
Well, we'll decide to hold on to that power. I mean, nothing. Maybe saving 4 for the spender. But no doubt we'll see Magic come through. Interesting to see if she's going to be within 2 to get her Mystic Builder. We'll have to settle for the energy attack.
Oh, it is close. I think she's going to be just down eyeballing that one.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's almost like a mirrored system where you have 2 alleys and you've got Aaron's attrition coming down on Voodoo, and we've got the same on the other side with Leafs coming down to target Steve and Sam. It's almost like a bit of a race between the 2.
Yep, no, I like it. Although, I think I'd rather be trying to take down Voodoo than trying to take down Sam and Steve.
Yeah,
They just don't go down.
it's
Steve
true.
especially.
Even with Mystic attacks, right?
Yeah.
I think he's looking to position himself to maybe turn off cover.
So spending 1 here. Looks like he's limbo stepping. Or just a second move.
Oh, that's right. The limbo step as well is like an X power, isn't it? So you
It
can.
is. It's up to 3, and it's the range per power spent.
Such an underestimated. Like it's just basically a Midnight Suns affiliation. It's
Yeah.
quite nice. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
she's very interesting. Normally, her big turns come after she's been dazed, and she'll be able to do either a range 3 place on herself and then a Dark Child, or Journey through Limbo someone, do a builder into a Dark Child, and her spender is quite good.
Oh, big boy roll. Sneaks through 3. And this is good. This puts pressure on Aaron because obviously Steve's looking down the barrels, and he would love to activate Hulk first, but just leave Steve open.
Yeah, that is an interesting one. I think like Steve flipping is usually not the worst thing because I don't think he's counting blanks against Mystic attacks on his other side. Um,
Does it include Mystic attacks? Does it?
I'm fairly certain he counts blanks against everything
Oh,
on his other side. He just
wow.
doesn't get to add the +2 dice.
What?
Um,
What a man.
that said, you would like to get some work out of him before he goes down. So if you don't go into Voodoo though, Voodoo is getting the hell out of there.
Big time. But combining his leadership and the fallback, maybe he's only getting one in, even with the leap. We'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
Right, we'll go through 5 to Aaron, 4 to Leif. Prio switching to Aaron, and let's see what he decides to do first up. It's Hulk, right? It's got to be Hulk.
Well, let's see the spider infected rolls first, actually,
Oh, of course.
because this could change everything. If Voodoo moves, expect him to go base to base with Hulk, which then will mean he won't be able to escape with a bump. Although he does have fallback, it would get the fallback out.
Looking like Steve's failed his first.
That is the danger zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, being Affinity Formula, everyone gets nice juicy power, so spenders get online, abilities get online,
Oh
magic
yeah.
sitting on 5 power.
Yes, her spender costs 4 as well, so she has everything online. She has the step, she has Journey through Limbo. She's a spicy 3 threat. Fury going for a walk. Got a blank on whoever that was. Probably Lizard or Voodoo. No, no one else is moving. All right, so the board state is set, I should say. We think he's going Hulk here.
I mean, not getting base to base really does end fallback. This means you're only getting one good whack in a terrain which is going to get blocked by brace, right? So,
Yes.
and I assume we're about to see books come out spent off someone with all the power sitting on people like Mordo.
Or even Magic if she's not planning to go in this turn.
Yeah.
Mordo with 4, and friendlies nearby. He definitely wants to save 2 to boost the attacks of Magic. He could potentially spend for books here, and still have 1 Ferocity of Sidorak online.
Or
It
books is
is, yeah.
on. Yeah.
Mordo is spent for it.
Yeah. I think you made the right call with Magic having such a great toolkit with the step and the spender and such. Is the spender range 3? Tell me it's range 3.
It's range 3, yeah.
Oh, yes it
It is,
is.
yeah.
And it's the
So 6
skulls, isn't it?
dice,
Yeah.
count skulls in both rolls as successes.
Whoa, that's a spicy meatball.
Yes, it is nice. So Steve here is in a world of trouble. Things that he could do if he were to activate Steve with... Actually, Steve has spent 2 power here. He was on 5.
I think
So we
we're
might be
seeing
seeing
the spender.
Steve Spender.
Yeah.
This might be trying to base out the brace. Looks like we've got 3 hits into 1.
I assume this is
So I
to
think this will be
Magic
going
to
on to
get some
Magic.
distance.
Yeah, I would be trying to take that Magic, yeah. She's already kind of like fully operational here, so giving her extra power is not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Looks like she's taken 1 damage.
She's gained 2 power, so I think we're just waiting for that one more damage to sneak through. I don't know. Always looking, we're hovering brace, so
I don't think you see Brace come out here. I think you have to save that one for Voodoo.
agreed. And Mordo
I
with
think
6 on
he's
his front side, he's not too worried about that.
no. So I don't think you get the books against dodge rolls. It'll just be attacks.
Yeah. Oh, three does go forward. I
Yeah.
think Magic's still yet to take one more. She
Yeah, I
was.
think they've missed the damage here.
I'm sure they'll be able to catch back up on that. I tend to like trust and assume the players know what they're doing and just let them be. Obviously, us
Yep.
being not accusers, we can't step in.
No,
So,
absolutely not. Do we have an accuser in the room?
I did have a look on the Discord. There's only one person is online, but they're not really getting back to me at the moment.
Mm. One of the interesting things about convocation leadership, for those that aren't aware, is that the bump side of the leadership allows you to place once per turn anytime you would take damage from an enemy effect. So the throw damage here into Mordo is an enemy effect, so he also gets to bump. Which leads to some hilarious situations if you have something like explosive, where all of a sudden your whole team could get to do a range one place.
That's quite a cool interaction, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it. It's a very cool leadership. Very skill intensive.
Curious to see what he wants to do with his next action.
I think it should be going into magic.
I mean, there's no mission objective online, so he's got no way really of protecting if he goes down, but very likely that 1 damage is going to squeak through from both Fury and Mordo.
Yeah, absolutely. And if magic doesn't go down here, then I think she is pretty odds on to take out Sam.
Agreed.
I think having both the characters on the side days this early would be a bit of a disaster in
Absolutely.
round 2.
Alright. 2 power's been spent.
So we're seeing it again.
3 with a crit. Even with the throw, this is more than enough, I think. Even with... Oh, no, he hasn't converted it. So 2 go through, which is a bit awkward.
Yes, because if he uses the brace here, he should be dazed.
Unless we're missing something.
Oh no, I know what was going on here. So he's using Ironbound books to turn this into a mystic attack. She has Wild Pierce against mystic attacks, like defensive
Oh,
Pierce.
yeah, she has the
So for
Doctor
each one of
Strange
those,
thing.
yes, yeah. So each one of
Yes.
those wilds that she's rolling, she's blanking one of Aaron's attack dice. So no, they haven't missed anything. She's just been doing Ironbound book wizard things.
Wonderful. Yes, I remember now. She's the Sorcerer Supreme of Limbo, so it
Yep,
checks out.
she does. Which to get that on both rolls is clutch. So she's rolling 4 dice to get the wild as his only block both times. Fantastic.
And she gains
So
power
she
for this as well,
is.
doesn't she?
She does, yeah. So she is. She has a full stack. She's a bit of a menace right now.
Yeah, full
That
stick of
is.
butter, and that's going to be 2
Yes.
dead Steve Americas, I think.
Yeah. That's 2 spenders. And a range 2 place if she were to go with that. And this looks like it might be the range 3 limbo step. Probably followed by a builder and a spender, I would imagine.
It's so funny when you watch the games like this as someone's doing the streaming. So interesting to see their hands almost act like this holographic communication tool. Sometimes you can see when the boys are
Yeah.
debating and talking when the 2 blue and red hands are wiggling all over the table. It's great.
It is fantastic. I find they tend to like follow each other around on the board as well. If like people are just having a chat, the 2 cursors are always like next to each other. But yeah, limbo. I think magic here is an issue. We
Absolutely. I
don't
mean
have anything.
that 3 threat beater. She's like just looking at that card, she's got quite a few good tools online, and I think this is the worst case scenario where she's got all this power, still live on one, and is able to enforce her will.
Yep, so we've got the range 2 limbo steps. He's set himself up to do 2 Dark Childs here. So we've got 6 dice Mystic, counting skulls on both sides. Oh, it's a big roll.
Oh, big boy damage. This
Oh
might be
yeah,
one. This might be one. 6 into 1.
that is a one shot. Disaster stations.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a Hulk activation next, do you think?
Very
Or is
likely.
Panther, do you think, maybe try and come down and get into Lizard before he runs away?
I mean, what is Panther really going to do? I mean, I don't even know if he'll be within even. You might have to burn Assemble to actually get into range. I'm eyeballing it.
Yeah,
I mean, he does have the discounted pounce, of course. But I think Hulk needs to do
it has
something
to
about
be.
Voodoo.
It has to be.
Alright, now the brace is still online. It's time to pull it out. Train coming through.
So he's done a tab on the terrain there.
Oh, this
Yep,
might.
says
Yeah,
he spent 1 power, yeah, so this is the throw coming in.
yeah.
Would you have liked to have seen him throw the size 2 to try and break it out? Just
Well,
to more likely to get damage through?
no brace has been spent.
Oh, actually, wow. This is
Leif.
interesting.
Oh, the place.
So he does have the Gamma to chase him down, which will put him down to 1 power. So he's relying then on a 7 dice strike going into 6 Mystic Defense to push 3 damage. And if he does push the damage, then Leif also has 4 block online to protect the spider from Hulk being able to pick it up.
And with brace online, if he decides to go no matter the cost with a spender, he still can save himself from the potential wild that comes from Hulk spender as well.
Tell you what, this is Nerves of Steel. Hey, I definitely would have popped Brace for
Oh,
that one.
1000%.
Yeah, like that is fantastic. That's a really good understanding of how the convocation leadership can really save you from sticky situations, especially in combination with fallback.
So after this Hulk activation, assuming that what happens with the results here, I'm curious as to see what Lizard's going to do. I assume he's just going to rotate around Panther, and basically when Panther comes through, he'll basically maybe even take that point off Hulk, maybe come in late. It's just trying to interesting to see what the board state's going to look like at the end of this turn.
Mm. I think would you ever just move Lizards
Yeah, of
right
course.
down to that bottom left and just like get him all the way out there, force Panther to kind of double move into the Mystic Guns?
Well, I think it as the now with the big advantage as Leaf, I think you want to try and press the boot down even harder on the throat and potentially score out as fast as possible. So he has options to come up to the Hulk or the Panther, but obviously we want to perhaps Lizard will be the last activation from Leaf, just to basically counter what Panther wants to do as far as his positioning. Okay, we're looking at the Gamma Leap from Hulk.
Yep.
And some very important positioning happening. I think he's trying to keep himself within
He's staying within 1 for the potential of
smash.
smash. No, he
Yeah.
doesn't have the power for it. It costs 2. He
Yeah,
has
but I
1
think he's
power.
setting up for the next turn maybe to set it up. I'm not sure because he's not
Yeah,
within
it
one
is
of these,
interesting.
not within one of the formula, but maybe assemble. I'm not sure.
Well, this is still the first action, so maybe he's anticipating that he won't be able to chase Voodoo down, so he just wants to get 1 big attack in. If he dazes him, move back onto the points, see where he goes from there.
Oh, big roll from Hulk, 4 from 7, but only 1 squeaking through. Great roll.
And there's the fallback.
So what I was anticipating was actually the Hulk was the full Gamma Leap forward, strike, and then assemble to come after and get the second strike in.
Yes, yeah,
Which still might happen.
yep. So he's used the place already, so it's just gonna be the fallback. There's gonna be no further place here. I think you have to take it, don't you? You have to. I think you have to burn assemble here, get in, get that second attack, try and get the daze, get the spider off of him.
I mean, even if you come forward, what size is that? Size 2, so you're still getting the same benefit from Smash as well. And there's no one really threatening Hulk outside of the potential damage that Magic can do outside of Voodoo, and with affiliate Cryo, Voodoo's not a concern either. So
No. If he does vacate that point though, like you said, it does leave it free for Lizard to then move up and take control.
yeah, I think Aaron's game plan and way out of this is just to really have Hulk do his business and get some attrition flowing. Because if we leave all 5 bodies on the board, even if they are dazed, they can just rotate with the speed that they have on these V
Mm.
shapes. Nope, deciding to secure the informant. I mean, Lizard can't push him off, so it's a guaranteed 1 point.
Yep. That is interesting.
I think this might
With
be a
only
good, interesting point to note and maybe get Aaron's thoughts around this particular time of the
yeah.
game.
So yeah, I've written down Voodoo not bracing,
Yeah.
so I want to ask about that.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, Hulk going back to the point, absolutely. So I think we should see Lizard. Do you think we'll try and run away here, or do we try and finish off Steve first?
Um,
Or is the potential of Panther coming into
I
Voodoo an
mean,
option?
Panther into Voodoo is definitely a concern right now. I mean, a long assemble gets him in range for a strike for sure, and then maybe even a pounce.
And a pounce, yep. Although he still has brace for the pounce.
So,
I'll
I mean,
laugh if the game ends and he's still holding on to brace.
oh, what a man. I think Voodoo has to go and get himself into a good position to get away from Hulk. Because Hulk, I mean, if Voodoo just double walks away from Hulk, I mean, Hulk's stranded on the other side of the map, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's where I think that'll be an interesting point to look back on in this game. Is Hulk not pressing the issue here? Because with Steve about to go down and the likelihood of 4 spiders being on the bottom of the board, having Hulk move away from the fight was an interesting choice.
All right,
And we
Mordo
have seen
goes.
Steve go down.
Yep, Mordo goes down, slaps him off. I think he walks forward, picks up, and sits on the formula. Oh, Leif might have other ideas.
Hmm.
Convocation is such a mental tax. I've only played as them maybe 2 or 3 times, and even both times, I felt every game I was learning more and more of the depth and scope that is with the affiliation. And
Absolutely.
I found like maybe in a situation like this, I'd be so concerned without the reps, because as you like, Leaf truly did play a different affiliation every game in his Swiss.
Which is unbelievable. So I'm interested to find out what his main affiliation is, if it is Convocation and he was just trying out other stuff. Because the way he's playing this game, he definitely seems like he's got an extremely good handle on them.
Absolutely, I have to agree. Now, Limbo, can you play that outside of activation? You
No,
can.
magic activation.
It is during match. Oh yes, it is. Yep. Perfect.
So one thing I like he's done with this squad here is not going with Doctor Strange. Um, he is great, and I think it's a trap for a lot of Convocation players to always take him in every game. You can have like quite a nice cheap core like this 10 threat core here, which just allows you a lot more flexibility in your squads. And allows interesting splashes like we've seen with the Nick Fury here. So Fury is an interesting one. Do you think he's going to chuck the grunts out and put them up near Hulk? Maybe try and body block some landing spots?
So with the grunts coming out, can they pick up that extract?
No, no.
No.
Only the Daredevil ones can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. No, actually they can.
No,
No, no, they can.
they can
Absolutely, yeah.
because they get brought out and then they activate. No, because this is
No,
Nick
it's
Fury's.
part of. I think it's part of their the cards. Like
Oh,
Nick's
okay.
thing is that they come out and they're immediately able to interact with an extract.
Yeah. Mordo had a
which is actually fantastic because that makes them a high threat target. So they're going to get the KO and get books back online.
For those who are wondering, Mordo's second activation was using his ability to generate more power and potentially to pay for playing a Boldak for next turn.
Yes, yeah. So I think we could definitely see a ferocity of, I'm not sure if it's Sidorak or Sidorak, but I've been saying Sidorak, so we'll go with that. Pays for some ferocities, a plane of Poldak, and see maybe Steve just go down. A whale of mystic attacks.
All right, well, Panther to go.
So Voodoo is an option here.
Oh, mate, Leif has just had such balls of steel. Oh, has it been a pass?
I think it's been a pass.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. He's played a very patient game with his cards and with his positioning, and trusted that the Ironbound books will carry him through.
Looking to reposition Panther to help support and take down and support Sam and Steve on the opposite side.
Mm.
And this is truly where the advantage comes to with the squad selection at the moment. It's just the 4 versus 5 on a B map like this with 5 extracts. It means that the pieces that Aaron's brought really do have to be putting in significant work during their activations to make up for
Yep.
that 5th slot. And it's really almost like 6 wide with Fury, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. With them coming in, getting that extract, providing the book support as well, it is interesting, and I think it really does shine a light as well on the Hulk play. If Panther's going to double long move to rotate off the top, Hulk is really out of position.
I like this idea. So Aaron double moves and then potentially reaches Magic with the pounce to knock her over to potentially set up for the Panther activation turn 3 and take her off the board.
I like that.
Yeah, gets the point
Yeah.
back, gets in a good position, support the boys. I like it.
Yep. So Books is not going to be online next turn, which means that Mordo will be sitting on 2 physical defense. I don't think you need to threaten him. Like, he's always going to be there. And Steve is not guaranteed, but he should live through the first activation coming out of Leaf. Plane of Poldak might have something to say about that.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Like, maybe. I think in Az's position at the moment, because you've also got Recalibration Matrix, you can, after the plane of Poldak reels have come through, just be like, no, you know what? Let's reset that one.
All right. I'm sure Aaron has his fingers and toes crossed.
I wonder if he's... So this is the double move here. Being very particular about this measurement.
I think it's because Panther's not a wall crawler and he can't actually go over. He's just trying to get maximum distance and potentially make sure the line isn't interrupted by that terrain piece either.
That was interesting. He didn't use the measuring tool to place himself off to the side, which would give him a cleaner lane for the throw or the pounce, which might actually make this a little bit more difficult.
I think it's pretty
Like,
clean. I think the width of that base should be fine.
I think that's actually missing where it is right now.
Perhaps that nature of Aaron rushing, like you were saying at the early part of the game.
Yep. He's not someone who gets flustered. I don't think the early Steve and Sam days will have gotten him worried at all. He will just keep playing his game. Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Lovely.
Um,
Well done. All right, this roll's pretty
Interestingly,
big.
the clocks are actually almost dead even here, so Leaf is definitely keeping pace.
Brace
We are
comes
seeing
out.
Brace gets it out. That's the
Yep.
right call.
Don't tell anyone that's watching, but I legitimately thought we'd seen it been used by now.
I can't believe it. Hey.
I was getting so excited. Leaf just to see into the future. He just knew that it was coming. And the lizard double move to get the point back online. And just get away from Hulk basically and just turn him off as an option to get back I mean, the option obviously was Lizard to go back to that deep, the B point that Panther was on, but that just enables Hulk to get that other
Yep.
thing. So this is a great pick.
So this also will get Lizard onto 3 power next turn with the Infinity Formula, which brings online his throw. So any attacks that go into him, he will bump out of range, walk back on as the final activation, throw someone off. So he has complete control over this bottom point, I think.
All right, that's going to be round, and that's going to be a whole 6 to Leif and 2 to Aaron.
Oh, the shield grunts aren't showing up on the overlay. They always kind of seem to disappear, but they're holding the other spider. So yeah, 10-7 going to round 3.
All right, books are off. So here's Aaron's chance to really get this attrition going.
So do you think we see a Panther here?
I think you have to, right? I mean, who else is it?
So Panther with 3 power. Could be Sam. Sam doing some spenders with 10 power. Because the Red Wing Assault is not bad. Don't think he'd be wanting to kind of use those things as his hurt activation though.
Charge
I'm sure he'd
airlift.
love to be Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, but of course, like you said, first things first. Panther not being moved, but we are seeing the shield agents get moved. Poor Hulk, out in the wind.
Mm. So I think this would be, if he moves Gamma's assembles, he should be in range to make 1 attack. And with Brace offline,
He's got 2 size 4s within range as well, of course.
yep. So we could definitely see the size 4 going into Fury here. But at this point, Fury's holding an extract, so he ideally does go down, and that spider roll is actually massive. Like that gives Hulk a legitimate target to get in on, and start that attrition kind of coming back.
Absolutely. Well, it's been spiders all game, so for Leif, so getting moved around left, right, and center.
I do love spiders. It's a fun scenario.
I have many people that would disagree.
Well, love-hate relationship I think most people have with it. Like it in theory, but when your character that's in a key position gets moved away, it's very frustrating.
I think all top level players typically like to have the RNG element limited to a medium, unless your name's Morgan and you love swords. I mean, that's the exception.
Oh god, don't talk about swords.
Right? Sword is it's so
Yeah.
funny because the game itself's a 50-50 and I think people are 50-50 across it as well. It's either, oh, I love swords, sword's great, I love the 14 thread, and other people are like, nah, that thing can just get in the sea. I love it. I hate it.
No more 14 threat.
Yeah,
Seven dust.
how do you feel about that? How do you feel about like I think Strike Better was saying it's like a .4 lift in the average threat in the game, so more likely seeing those 17s and 18s. Do you think that's a good thing?
I haven't put a huge amount of thought into it yet, but my initial reaction is that I like it. I think the game gets a little bit skewed at the lower threat levels, as we've seen with Malekith doing some big boy things, and also the ability to sometimes go 5 wide. I think can be a little bit. You win the game at list selection as opposed to what you're doing on the table. So getting rid of the 14 threat, I think alleviates that somewhat.
Yeah, I'd have to
How about
agree.
yourself?
No, I completely agree. I've never really enjoyed 14, especially when you start to see those Malkith and the Hulks come in at 14 as well. It's just at such a
Mm,
threat level, you really don't have the options or tools that you would in a normal, I say normal, but a 17, 18 threat game
yeah.
to combat those options if you're not bringing them yourself.
That said, as someone who played Hulk, Hulkbuster, and Wong at 14 a couple of times last season, I'll be sad to see it go. But as a fun team. So first activation here, what are we looking at?
Maybe it is Sam. I mean, the one damage that needs to go through on magic to turn her off. I mean, that feels awkward to do with your Panther, doesn't it?
It does. So, but do you want to try and rely on a ricochet?
I
That's
mean,
also risky.
I
4
mean,
into 3.
Aaron really needs to have his dice dig him out of this hole and give himself a position, and now's the time to do it. I mean, books offline,
Mm.
braces off, so this is the big swing turn where the dice need to swing around and give him some options.
So, are you prioritizing the infinity formulas here or the extracts? Because magic is not holding anything. She just represents damage coming back.
Oh, we've got some dice coming through. That is a good question. And it is 5 dice. Maybe it is Panther.
It's a good roll. It's
Oh,
damage
no, it's
going
6.
through on it.
I think this is the spender.
That's magic.
So that
So
was the
4 power of Sam's, this will be a Red Wing Assault. So he gets to place himself within 2 of his current position. Looks like we might see another one.
into Lizard. And is the throw
It was
automatic or does he have to hit the
3.
wild? It is automatic.
Automatic, yep. After the attack is resolved, which is why magic wasn't thrown.
So yeah, I think we'll see the Lizard being thrown into the agents.
Very nice.
Oh, big boy swing.
Hey, Sam Wilson doing Sam Wilson things. I
Oh,
tell you
mate.
what.
It's just sit down, Steve. I've got this, you know?
It does, yeah. So this is actually quite an interesting point here because there's 4 characters that are going to be surrounding this extract, assuming that the grants go down. And the only one that could pick it up is Mordo. So Mordo is in a pretty precarious position as well, with only 2 physical defense and 3 health left on this side. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes and grabs it and tries to leave, or if he'll leave that one for Sam and then try and trust in maybe like a planar pole duck to then take it back off of him.
The other thing to be aware is obviously Leif, with only needs 6 more to go, he only needs to hold these 2 secures and these 4 extracts that are both on this side of the table. So Aaron does need to be careful with Voodoo still being online and operational with the possession. Is the place May? Is it within himself or with the opponent?
Within range 2 of himself, yeah.
Ah, okay, sure, yeah.
Sam has a lot of tricks, man. With the throw and then being able to place yourself, and then you can set that up to be at range 4, so you then get interesting ricochets as well with your second action. He has a lot of play patterns.
Plus the charge and the airlift and especially under Steve.
Yep, absolutely. 4 damage going into Lizard from that attack and the collision afterwards. So that is strong. That is strong. Only 2 left on Lizard.
Yeah, so with Leaf, where is the priority? Is it taking care of Steve now? Is it picking up the extract?
I think it probably is picking up the extract because Mordo with flights will be able to walk and then second move behind that building. And if we're holding on to extracts with Fury, Voodoo, and Mordo at the ends, Voodoo as a last activation can always walk onto that bottom left point, possessed Steve, so he won't be able to contest. And Lizard, if he's not dazed, can walk and displace from that back point.
I think Leaf smells blood in the water, mate. We've got Planar Pole Dak coming out, and I think that's going under Steve, and I think his plan's just to take him off the table right now.
Yep. So I think Voodoo has spent for that one.
Yes, and I think it's going to be a double spender from Mordo.
The burning rains of Ragador.
Rains down in Africa, mate. Let's have a look.
Yeah. This is a spicy one. This is 7 dice. That gives you Incinerate and Poison automatically afterwards. So when Mordo needs to slap, he can slap. This is the game here. If Mordo can get it done on Steve, I think that's all she wrote.
Steve's done well. 3 crits.
Leif has also done well here. He's converting 6 at the moment.
Oh, 2 sneak through. Incinerate comes out. There's no throw attached to this, is there?
No, there's not. No, it's just the conditions.
Mordo, classic MTG. Lots of text. Must be good.
Oh, mate, there's so much on there. And he lulls you into a false sense of security because he chips you away with these little 4 dice builders and then just smacks you with his 7 dice spender. That's fantastic.
Oh, Steve.
So an interesting thing here is that we've seen Leif use 4 tactics cards already, and Aaron has used 0.
Oh, I think Steve is up. Takes 3. Oh no, counts blank as well, so yeah, only taking 2.
Takes 2. Steve, what a monster. Now this here is interesting.
Big opportunity.
The only character that could pick up those has now activated. I mean, Fury can call grunts to pick up that one. So does Steve walk and pick up the extract and then just get the hell out of there?
I think we're
Or
going
do
to
you
see.
think we try and daze Lizard?
I think Assemble comes out and we look at Voodoo because I think Voodoo's the thing that's really threatening our ability to stop Leaf closing it out this turn still. Because Lizard
Yep.
last activation can take care of a formula, and the extra bodies and the healthy body of Fury can take care of the other.
Mm-hmm. Pending where Panther ends up.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Actually, Panther with his pushes here is actually massive.
Oh yes, of course. No matter the cost, still hasn't been used.
We've also got patch up online, so I wouldn't be surprised here to see maybe Panther do something and come over and patch up Steve. Dice are being rolled though.
Six dice, so it must be the spender from Steve.
So we're blocking 2, only doing 2. Is a throw any direction though?
It is.
So trying to get the double days here. Prioritizing the KOs or the dazes here. Try and get that extract off of Lizard. There's no good play here, I don't think, to then assemble into patch-up range because Sam and Panther aren't going to have much power after they've done the assemble.
I think he's just truly trying to take off as many points that Leaf can score this round and get
Yeah.
him up into a position where he could potentially edge out at the end of 4 when Hulk gets time to come over
Mm.
and leverage the attrition he's pulling off now. But it does mean Books. No, Books won't be online as long as he doesn't kill those agents. So it must be a KO. So.
Books is online for next turn because the agents died to the throw
Oh,
from
yes, of
Sam
course.
Spender. Yep. So Leaf's all
Such,
over that. He's actually put that back over already.
such a good synergy.
It's fantastic. I tried it out in Convocation for a long time with Shadowlands Daredevil, but I like it with Nick Fury a lot more. This is interesting. So this is a fantastic use of the leadership again here. So he's bumped out of range of the second Steve Spender by the looks.
I mean, you've committed to the Lizard at this point, right?
Yep. So he's dazed Mordo though with the throw damage. Lizard on 1. Do we see an assemble to get into Spender range again? He might be going for the
The
ricochet.
ricochet.
Oof.
I mean, at this point, you really do need the dice to be on your side. So it's a big Hail Mary's potentially coming out.
Hmm. Lizard isn't much of a threat to Sam, also to Steve though. With count blanks and being able to add the dice versus him,
But it's
I
more
don't
like
think he has to worry about him.
turning off the
But if
throw,
you,
isn't it?
yeah, it is. It is.
I think
Panther,
he's.
I think we'll be able to sort him out.
Yeah. But then I think
It's a tough puzzle.
it
It is a tough
is.
puzzle.
It is
Yeah,
because
it's
you want your Hulk
interesting.
to come over and have some sort of impact onto this game because you might potentially lose your opportunity to affect the board with. Oh, while I'm speaking,
Damage on the Fury.
we have hit some damage on Fury and we've hit our Ricochet.
Hit the
Aaron,
wilds.
yeah, Aaron must be smiling ear to ear at the moment as
This
things come
is a
together.
huge roll.
Yeah.
If he can get the days on Voodoo here, um, this is a massive swing back.
Still 4 dice and cover. Oh, no cover against shields, of course.
5 dice. Steve has a big boy shield. Not this little Sam Wilson shield. He's the original shield.
That's right.
It's
This
5
is like
dice.
superhuman shield.
Yep. So looking at 5 into 4. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Recalibration Matrix come out if it's not a good roll, because I think if you can get the days here, the game turns on its head.
Agreed.
Ooh, 3 with the crits. Into
Uh,
3 with 2 crits.
Recal?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Do you save the recount to try and keep Steve alive, or do you go for the play here? I think he has to go for it. I think he's in a very precarious position.
Really been impressed with Leaf's ability to rotate around the map and utilize that speed that Convocation has with those medium bases with this game to
Absolutely.
turn off the threat of Hulk. That's been really good.
So we're seeing Assemble come out here.
Oh, speaking of Hulk, here he comes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's measuring out the patch up here, so I think we'll see Panther patch him up. The question will be for how much. Like, will he want to save 1 power for the pounce? Is patching up Steve for 2 enough?
I mean, he's injured, isn't he? But you do need the bodies to have these people to actually pick up these extracts and sit on secures.
Hmm. And that also doesn't put Steve onto the point.
Now at this point, is it Lizard to go? Oh no, we are seeing the patch up. Oh, for the full 3.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
So looking at just then, it's going to be a walk and an attack and just try and generate the 1. So Lizard here is interesting. I think if Lizard were to go and throw Sam off the point, who's already activated, that then kind of strands Panther. Like, does he want to stay where he is? He's not coming over, which will allow Voodoo to potentially double walk over and possess him to take it back off of him.
I still think Leaf has every opportunity right now to secure these 6 points that he needs. So
Yep.
I think he needs to be really mindful of the threat of this Hulk and consider his activations very carefully.
Yeah, I think with 1 extract sitting on the ground there and Nick Fury sitting on 6 power, I would like to see the grunts come out, grab that extract, and Fury get the hell out of there. He needs to put some space between him and Hulk because there's a size 4 throw coming his way.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And depending on the distance between Hulk and Voodoo, ooh, that might also be a concern. I mean, walk Gamma, throw terrain into Voodoo takes off his ability to score the 6 as well. So
Mm.
I don't think there is any right or wrong decision. It's just different lines available. And he's taking the
It's
time
funny.
now. Yeah, you go, mate.
Yep.
You go.
No, I was going to say it's interesting how like you deploy on a spread out B and F map, and it looks like we're playing Gamma or Researcher at the moment. Everyone's standing in one corner of the board, so that's great stuff. It is a very interesting next activation.
Yeah, I think I've said this so many times recently, but I think games really do come down to very particular moments and play patterns around the game. And I think prior to this, it was Aaron's turn too with that Hulk, whether to go in and commit or not. And I think right
Mm,
now, Leaf is really taking the time to consider what the board state is going to look like and who is the priority to protect from the Hulk activation.
yeah, and maybe if Aaron had taken more time, like Leaf is doing now, to think about that, Hulk might have rotated down a turn earlier. Because like we spoke about earlier, this game is going to score out very quickly, so clocks were never going to be an issue here. But we are seeing lizards.
Lizard throw in formula? Sit on the formula? Oh, is it the train? It is the train.
Who is
Interesting.
this going into?
I assume it's Steve because of the 4 dice, and it's a short throw.
It is a short throw, yeah, correct. Yeah, it'd have to be Steve.
Okay.
So he spent power here. Can he put shields up versus dodge rolls? Oh, Steve. 3 blocks. Never in doubt.
I think that was the spender from Lizard just then. Yeah, that was the Cold-Blooded Splendor that gives you the auto bleed
Okay.
and the slow. Steve, you menace.
He is a monster.
4 conditions.
Just collecting them all. He's got
That's
6 more
it.
to go. I'm
That's
sure
it.
they're out there somewhere.
Pokemon Master. All right, Panther to come out. So the reason why I was talking about like being really considerate of this is because now that Blizzard's where he is, it just means it gives Panther a really clear line of move, strike to do the 1 damage and gain the 1 power he needs to then pounce. Oh, but I think that Hulk
I
activation
think
is
Hulk.
so important.
Yeah, I think Panther's in range with his long move to do whatever he wants, whereas Hulk coming in here, if he walks Gammas and throws the terrain that's underneath Voodoo, so we can hit him with that, and then put 1 attack into Fury.
Even the
I think,
spender to throw and even get the stagger on as well.
yeah, I think you definitely need to put Voodoo down here. Fury, he's not as threatening.
No,
He doesn't have the ability to turn off your ability to score the Infinity Formula. And anytime you have a chance to get Voodoo down before he's possessed someone, I think you have to go for it.
the thing with
That's
Fury represents is that he does have those potential to pick up that loose extract with the grunts, but I think you
that's
have to
true.
right.
It's he's representing 2 VP and Voodoo's also representing 2 VP. The difference there being is that if Hulk comes over and is able to pick up the spider, Voodoo is then potentially representing 3 with the ability to make Hulk drop a spider and potentially turn him off from scoring Infinity.
And even
Um,
throw a character as well. I mean, he's only got 2
yeah,
power though. All right, I think we're agreed. Hulk needs to
yep,
ditch Voodoo
Hulk and Voodoo.
first.
Let's
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, make it happen.
So one thing I really rate with Aaron's strength as a player is his ability to make the right decision in these moments. I think he's not someone who kind of goes into games with like a hard and fast plan, but he adapts very well to situations. So I'm expecting him to pull out some magic here, that's for sure.
See what you did there. I think he's just taking the
Um,
time just to be careful not to screw up his pathways of movement and really get the maximum amount of distance and considering going over the train as well as around.
mm. 31 minutes here on the clock, so he's got plenty of time.
No need to rush it.
No. So another thing that Leaf's done here is by isolating the Hulk and not putting any damage onto him, he's really not representing much like threat here at all. Outside the throw, obviously. But even 1 point of damage with no matter the cost would then turn into an extra dice. So the fact that he hasn't attacked him at all is very beneficial.
He's just completely isolated him with his movement. All right,
Mm.
the gamma comes out. Oh, tricky.
So if you just unsnap here, actually you're allowed to place anywhere in base contact with the end of the tool, so it's not going to stop him from taking the full movement. He just needs to unsnap and place himself slightly further along.
It's always tricky in these high risk well not high risk but these high value games where essentially um when these situations arise where the measurement I mean in person something like this potentially could have been avoided, but on TTS it can be a bit awkward around just
Mm.
lightly nipping the edge of these like the terrain simply because some of these terrain pieces does have that invisible cover around it. So
Yes,
it is
yeah,
hard. It is hard to be. I think stating intent is obviously very important, but
absolutely. Now, the important thing that he's done here is that he's always going to commit to a gamma and a walk, but by doing the gamma first, he's able to measure range 2 from Voodoo like he's doing now with the movement tool up to really make sure he maximizes his position.
it's been such a great
Uh,
game to watch. Really back and
Yeah, it really
forward.
has.
Very
Yeah.
exciting.
No, this is good stuff here. So he's in range to pick up that extract, or Voodoo's one if he gets him here. So all of a sudden, Hulk is in the mix, and finally throwing some punches.
So I think he's looking to maximize all the value he can generate. So we were anticipating the building being thrown to Voodoo, but it's actually going to Fury to potentially get his cake and eat it.
Oh, that feels a little greedy to me. Well, or no, just get him. Just
Or
push the 4 through.
or
No
perfection.
blocks. Yep, absolutely.
What this does mean though is that Leaf will have prio.
Yeah, so I wonder what he will do with that prio, whether it's going to be just an extra grab and run away, or depending what the score is at the end of the turn, I guess. But
Now
if
with
we
one
can
power,
see,
can is does no sorry to interrupt, mate. No matter the
no,
cost,
go
can you
for
do
it.
it up? You can do up to three. You can do up to
Up
three.
to
So
3.
so
Yep,
you can see the
absolutely.
spender. Okay.
Would you like to see the spender here?
I think you just have to. I mean, the game plan's very clear. We need to get rid of all of these things. So
Hmm.
I
I
think
agree. And if you somehow don't sneak through the 2 damage, potentially hitting the wild and putting a stagger on Voodoo um, is also fantastic. Because if you're not putting through the 2 damage, unless he rolls a skull, he's only going to be sitting on 3 power, so his options to possess Panther aren't there.
and he doesn't have the power for recal, and even if he only sneaks through one, still cops the wild. It just gives him more outs to secure what he's looking to do, which is take him off the board.
Yep, absolutely. Oh,
That is
3
not.
skulls.
That is
That's
not
not
what he
even a
wants.
recal.
No.
Into 2, 2 into 2. Spending 1 to pick it up. No damage dealt. Well, he set himself up for a big turn there with the gutsy 5 damage going into 4 health fury. Got one of them, but the second one didn't pay off.
Leaf now measuring up to basically see what's happening. But as it stands right now, I mean, Aaron's done a great job to turn off those potential 6 points.
Absolutely. And I think we'll see Panther get the days here on Lizard,
Yeah.
which we'll see Leaf holding 1 point on Voodoo. Potentially a second one where if he goes to contest the Infinity Formula. But if he does that, you get the 1 damage through onto Lizard, you're in Pounce range.
That's another good point.
Yeah, it's a very interesting decision point here. Well, Plane of Poldak is still up, so he's actually looks like he's prioritizing getting the kill on Steve, which means that 1 damage on Lizards, if Steve is off the table, isn't enough to pounce. So I wonder if Leaf is feeling a bit of the pinch here of this massive comeback turn.
Oh, I'm not sure how I
Because
feel
getting
about
Steve off the
this.
table here it's Recal's still online. He's been very patient with that, as patient as Leaf was with Brace for Impact.
True. I just don't know how I
This is a
feel
big
about
roll.
exposing Voodoo like this. Oh, it's a
It's
big
a
boy roll.
it's a big all or nothing play, this one.
Yeah.
3 crits. We've got 2 on Steve here, which is converted into 2 blocks, 4 crits. 2 damage leaves him on 1.
I think Aaron may have forgotten the incinerate.
He rolled 2 dice and one of them was a crit.
Oh, my apologies then.
Yep, so
Oh, and he sticks the landing, does he?
Steve on 1.
What
Yeah,
a
Steve on
boss!
1. 2 blanks coming through from Leaf there with the crits. Wow.
Leaf.
That has opened up everything.
Yeah, big time. Leaf must be really stinging after that one.
Yep.
But the dice giveth and the dice take.
So the
Third
patch up for 3, clutch.
clutch.
Actually clutch. Yep.
Great pick.
Fantastic.
I mean,
Yep.
dice do that though sometimes, don't they? They either make you look like a fool or an absolute genius, and I think Aaron's
Yeah, I like that.
yeah. Just, I mean, though, I think potentially there was some other options there, and a great option to talk to Leaf about this post game, regardless of the
Mm.
result, is about his decision around Voodoo. I mean, it's very clear that he wanted to maximize the value out of playing a Polduck and take off Steve, but by doing so, he's put himself exposed with Panther. But
'Cause
what
it
else
does
did?
kind of like put the game on that 1 point there, because killing Steve means that Panther's not going to be able to get Voodoo. Voodoo and Lizard. Um, but it's a big risk to take. It is a big risk to take. When you're sitting in a 3 VP lead currently,
I was just about to say, I think you can because you just no matter the cost of the spender, don't you?
onto with Panther.
With Panther. You
Ooh,
just
try and
hope.
hit the wild for
Yeah,
explosive force.
exactly.
Yeah. He's done that. He's played no matter the cost, and it looks like he's hit the wild.
Oh,
So we have seen a daze on Voodoo, and that should be a daze onto
that is
Lizard as well.
5. That is 5 dazed characters in one round.
That is a huge clapback turn.
Unless that's Lizard's role and he saved himself. Oh, unless they're resolving the pushes and such. Because
Uh,
the
After attacks resolved, they're pushed away short, and
and
then
they
they
just
suffer
suffer
1
1.
damage.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
so
Liz,
he is going to push and then daze. It's interesting he's not he's pushing him towards Steve. Wow. What a turn.
yeah, absolutely.
Did he get the damage on Voodoo? Was
I
he attacking Voodoo or was he attacking?
Well, it's 4 dice, isn't it? And it's
Because they've taken the
energy.
damage off of Voodoo here, so Voodoo is currently still undazed on 4.
It must have been Voodoo's roll because the energy defense on Lizard's for free and he's rolled 4 dice with no
Okay.
crits. So
So it looks like no damage, but he'll
no.
get pushed from the explosive. That'll be 1 damage there.
Yep. Yeah. So 4 dazes.
Huge. Yeah, actually huge.
And of all the characters I thought were going to go down, I thought Voodoo was number 1 priority target, and he did. He's taken 1
After our
damage.
lengthy discussion, we were like, yep, absolutely, Voodoo has to go down.
Yeah.
He's the only guy who survived. This push will get him off the point though, so Leif is just going to be holding the 1 spider here to take him to 11. And Aaron will be going on to a few more than that.
I know the boys are just basically resolving some of the pushes and the positioning and stuff, but you can see the impact of having extracts have that that fine print about having only one character hold the actual extracts. I think it's such a great choice
Mm.
that these new missions have really lent on that now.
Absolutely. I think it really limits things like Hulk collecting all the cubes, although that's still possible. 6 of the 9 live extracts are 1 per character, so you can't have Cat getting everything, you can't have Hulk getting everything, and you get this really interesting interplay between the characters where you're not seeing guys run away with with all of them. We've got a bit of a scrum about to happen now, but it's much more interesting. It's much more live.
So we'll see 11 to 10 at the end of 3, but Pryor will swing back to Leaf, and with Magic coming back online, as well as I mean Voodoo's seating on 1's a bit.
I think it has to be Voodoo. Like Voodoo actually living on 1 is probably beneficial for Azza here because I think you need to get work out of Voodoo. And he can't with the speed that Hulk possesses, you can't really like double walk anywhere and get away.
I think you'll likely see Voodoo burn his stick of butter into Panther to put him into the dirt, and then the possession come out even potentially on Hulk.
Mm.
I don't know.
Actually, it looks like Voodoo, the push didn't take him off the point, so we're seeing a
Oh,
12 to 10 scoreline.
the push pushed him off, and then obviously the leadership just triggered him back on with that lovely
Oh, sorry,
big
I
mini
missed that
base.
one.
Yeah.
Ah, fantastic.
Oh, is it 12-10? Is it?
Uh,
Panther must
you
not
got
be on the
bishop
point.
point.
He is not. Yeah, so Panther's not on
No,
the point. That's
okay.
why. All right. I think it's Voodoo first, isn't it?
I think it
Absolutely.
has to be, yeah. Uh, I
Voodoo.
don't think he's in range 3 of Steve, just eyeballing that. I mean, we've got some spider rolls to happen first, so his Voodoo could be well out of the way.
Absolutely.
Um,
But he's staying still. But it's not all doom and gloom. Have you still got the big man Hulk with a size 4 next to him in no brace? So he's got plenty of
oh
options and
yeah.
work to be put in. But I think 4 points left to go for Leaf to secure this. It looks like the Senators game I played yesterday, where there was like 2 or 3 Senators on the ground every round, basically.
And just wholesale murder
Yeah,
everywhere else, I imagine.
absolutely. It was Shadowlands versus Guardians, and I think we'll see quite a bit of that.
Oof, yep, that's spicy. No, it'd be good to see those teams back in the meta. They disappeared so damn fast when Malekith hit, and they were top of the pop. So it'd be nice to see those guys running around again.
Just checking some ranges now before the spiders go out.
So that'll be a measuring a staff of Legba,
Yeah,
the spender from Voodoo,
absolutely. But I think he's looking to
which
potentially push him off or keep him within 2, just repositioning. I'm not sure.
yeah, it's
So there's a push. Is it?
has to go the full distance. No,
Oh,
no, it's
so
an
there's
advance.
advance.
It is
It
an
is an
advance. Yep,
advance.
absolutely.
Yep. So staff is online.
Which is on top of everything else that Voodoo has, is an absolute monster of an attack.
I
The
personally
only thing
think
that's
it's
working in his favor is that Panther's only sitting on 1 power currently, so he won't be able to power burn him for too much damage. He'll actually just have to try and push it through naturally.
what he could have done if he's actually going for attrition is pushed him onto the actual infinity formula, give him an extra point of power, and then potentially had more power damage coming through then. But I find Voodoo's
Uh,
kit is the most ridiculous part. Is that he's got a throw.
yeah.
The boy does not need a throw.
No, and it also scales up to a size 3 terrain throw if
Oh,
he's got Brother Daniel chilling with him.
yeah.
Just on that as well, the power phase effects. I think the person who has priority would be able to choose the order.
Yes.
So with the crisis effects here, so yeah, that absolutely would have worked like you said. Push him onto the infinity formula and then give him a power.
Hulk's been actually pushed out, which is quite big too, limiting
Mm.
his ability to influence the board. All right. I mean,
Should say, I hope everyone in the chat's enjoying this. I haven't been checking the chat box at all, so I'm not sure
unfortunately,
exactly who's
It's
watching.
so funny. I've been getting a few messages
I'm
from
just
people
like
being like, check the chat,
hyper-focused.
check the chat. It's like I actually can't with my setup. Unfortunately, my second monitor is just gone into the bin, so I've only got the one
I
screen
actually
to work
can't check
with.
the chat as well. Yeah, same. I'm also on the one screen, so I should have
Yeah.
thought about that one. Apologies. I'm sure we're being corrected on a bunch of
Oh,
interactions in the chat. I look
absolutely.
forward to looking back at it.
It's the commentator's curse. We always get it wrong. I find it so funny when I'm watching content. It's just like sometimes there's those like awkward 60 seconds of them being like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. So we do
Yep.
apologize if we don't
Yep.
get it right, but we're
I
doing our
think
best.
that was us with Magic early on with those wilds.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like, what
it.
is going on? Have they missed damage? It's like, no, we're just idiots.
This one game I was doing quite early on was there was a voodoo, and obviously the token doesn't come up very visually either. So
No.
I kept missing like, why isn't he picking up the extract? It makes no sense to me. It's because he was possessed.
Yep. Yep. That's an easy one to miss. So it looks like Leif again is taking some time here to really consider his options. 25 minutes left for both players on their clocks, so absolutely no issues there. 1 round, maximum 2 left here, so first activation
I assume
definitely going
books.
to be Voodoo.
I assume books have been played.
Yeah, he's taken it off the card, so I imagine it's in his dice box.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's come off Mordo, I imagine. Oh no, it's actually come off.
No, I think it's Mordo.
Yeah. Yeah, if there was ever a time to slow down and really consider how these activations are going to play out, I think it's now because Leaf really in the position to potentially close this out now, depending on how some
Mm.
of these rolls go.
I think the interesting thing for me is when he will choose to prioritize activating Fury, with the grunts coming online. So obviously they can't move after they get called in and pick it up, um, unless you were to do his spender. So with his spender lead from the front, he chooses a friendly grunt unit. They get to advance short and make a range 3 attack. So with some interesting position, you can kind of create separation and draw Hulk away from the main fight and force him to go after the grunts, as opposed to getting after more interesting targets.
Wow, that's such a cool piece of tech to actually have, isn't it? And the S
I
is
literally
to
just thought of that then. I've
yeah.
never tried it in a game, but I was like, "No, hang on, I'm pretty sure there's something you can do here."
Yeah,
So
I've never
no,
actually seen that utilized quite as effectively as it could be right now by picking up that extract and moving
yeah,
short towards. Wow, that's
because
quite nice.
realistically, it's just Hulk. Like it's just Hulk that's going to be able to do it. So if you can force him to waste an action or a throw or body block him, that could be quite effective.
And even with Hulk holding an extract already, it's almost like just points going onto the ground rather than being picked up by him as well.
Yeah. So you could have Fury potentially like pick up the one that he's sitting next to, make a medium move, call on the grunts, pick up the one on the right, make an attack on Panther with the lead from the front, and then have the grunts walk to between the two pieces of terrain to the north, and create separation that way and get 2 extracts.
What's actually happened that's quite interesting as well is the push has put him within one of a size 2 terrain for smash, for Hulk's
Oh,
opening. So Leaf's missed
mm.
that as well.
So we're measuring out potentially a move from Voodoo here and a basic builder into Sam.
Oh, we've seen a
Now,
lot of work
the
coming with
range
Sam.
3 is also going to be the possession range.
Yes,
So I think he's probably maybe just prioritizing Sam not being able to pick up one of the ones that's on the ground, start ricocheting and secure a point, which is the downside of Voodoo living on one last turn. You really want to get him dazed before the possession goes off.
absolutely. Lots of options for Leaf to pick between. I mean,
Mm.
Panther would have been a lovely juicy target, especially holding that, and then the possession onto
So I
Sam.
think we're seeing a walk, leg bar, and then it's going to be possession with
Possession
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah.
And then potentially that 3 health gets taken care of by someone like Mordo or Fury later on in the round.
hmm Well, Panther also
Oh,
this is actually a smart play. So what he's
it's the
doing is
throw.
he's prioritizing the characters that don't have spiders to limit them being able to pick it up and run away, or potentially do other things. So Panther having a spider, there's always a chance to make him drop it later.
This is a great decision. I mean, only that 1 health. That's a great idea. Is to eliminate Sam. Steve.
Throw.
Sorry. Yeah, with the
We just talked
throw.
about it.
Yeah.
Throw.
Yeah, such a great
Oh,
idea.
yep.
Very good. And then we may even see just the possession now, and maybe even another walk. But I mean, only on 1 health life. Oh no. Here we go.
Oh, thank you for the use of the tabs.
Yeah, you just do it all, don't you?
Yeah.
You just do
So I
it
think
all.
this is a do a builder. Yeah. So do a builder and then possess afterwards and see what happens. Because you could just push the 3 here. Uh, well, it's 2 currently.
I think Recal's. Oh no, it was spending power. Just tabbing the wrong one. Yep.
That
So
dazes him.
K on a days. Whew, that's
And
very
then
big.
that'll be a possession onto Sam.
Which
And that is
completely,
an absolutely monster activation.
yeah, that completely limits Aaron's ability to actually secure points at this point because he will then
Does.
only have Hulk to secure a maximum of 2 points.
Yeah, so Hulk already holding one completely shut off his ability to pick up those, and Leaf now has free reign with his characters to pick up the spiders, which will take him to the victory.
What this means, though, is in order to turn off Leaf's ability to close out the game this round, is that the murder must continue. The blood must be spilled.
There's a lot riding on Hulk here.
Yep. And even Sam too. I mean, he's sitting right next to Magic. Magic can take him off the board nice and easy. So I think it's Sam next, and he has to put in some big work.
hmm So Sam, if he is possessed, which he didn't spend the power. He
Did
rolled
he?
2 skulls, so he went up to, he was on 5.
Oh, we haven't
Did
possessed
he?
Sam. I don't think.
I'm not sure if we possess Sam.
I'll just have a look if there's a Brotherhood token on him. Or oh, there is. He's just forgotten to take the power off.
Okay.
Oh
Um,
no, I think he would have gotten the power from the builder. Sorry.
oh, the 3 into, yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, yeah, okay, so we try and take magic off the board here. Although Ironbound Books is up, so she'll be rolling 4 Mystic Defense and she'll be blanking 1 per wild that she rolls.
Yes. We do.
Whereas Lizard is 4 and egg 1 damage. You could try and drop Voodoo just to take the 1 that he's holding off the board. Maybe some ricochets.
I mean, combined with Fury and those grunts, there's just so many options for him to pick up and scoop up these extracts, isn't it? He only has to score 4.
And Fury's representing 2. Um, Lizard can get 1, Mortar can get 1, or Magic can get 1. There's no easy decisions here, that's for sure.
Very hard, very tough situation. It's always like that the ebb and flow of the days and the power up and the swapping of priority. It's a part of the game I really enjoy compared to a lot of other systems I play at the moment.
Yep, absolutely. The control you have over who goes first and like when you want to commit and how much do you prioritize taking out someone who hasn't activated versus keeping priority, it's a very good game mechanic.
All right, Sam Spender. I assume this is going into Magic. Oh, Lizard. Oh, and there's the throw. Yes, 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 yes. The throw into Magic.
Like Lizard has blocked nothing, so he's taking 2 damage. That juicy neg 1 damage. This will give Leif the option to double bump with the leadership. So I hope Azza is thinking about that. What are they doing here?
Oh, is the
This,
throw potentially away rather than omnidirectional?
um, away. It is
It is
away.
away.
So what you can do here is because they're both after the attack is resolved, you can sequence it how you like, so you can get a better throw away angle.
Was definitely not what he was looking for though. He's definitely looking to do that
No, it
damage
wasn't.
into yeah.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
we're still in range for potential ricochet. But
He needs a monster roll here. If he can, he needs to daze. Or get the KO on Lizard. Lizard has the bump.
I mean the other option is obviously into Voodoo to score that one, get the ricochet and push Fury.
Mm. So I think what Az is probably feeling the pinch here from is that decision on turn 2 to move Hulk back to the point. Hulk not bringing his 6 threat to
His
bear a turn
yeah.
earlier has
Agreed.
been massive. With
Massive.
everything pivoting so clearly down to the bottom here, and needing to switch to attrition, it was a bit of a bad read by him there. And I'll be sure to let him know about it.
Oh. I think we both will, mate.
Yeah, that's how it is when you're mates, right?
Oh, no wild. Gets the one power, picks up, and finishes up there.
Yeah. Well, no, he can't pick it up. He's possessed, right?
Oh, of course.
I just put it back on the table. Yep, I think he's just reminded him.
TTS gods, please put possession token.
Yes.
Alright, I think it's Fury next because securing those 2 points. I mean, you're not the only thing left really we've got concern about is Hulk, so.
Mm.
I mean, maybe there's some journey through limbo nonsense you could do with magic as well.
Yeah, with only Hulk here, I think like Magic can quite easily just pick up the 1 extract journey. Well,
Well,
she
she could.
stands not contesting, so she picks up 1, she's securing 2 points. That takes him to 14. Voodoo's holding the 1, but likely to go down, which means that you've got Lizards and Mordo to secure the last ones here. So I
What I actually
think that is,
like is double move her her scroll. Bloody AOS, her war scroll. Her move. So she double moves towards Hulk,
yep,
teleports herself, and then Journey of Limbo's Hulk medium or 3 away from the
perfect.
fight and just turns him off.
Yep. So I think Journey Through Limbo is within 2+3, if I'm not mistaken. So she's definitely got the movement. That's a great play actually, because that completely takes him out. And I think that is what he's measuring here now. Yep, absolutely. And again, great patience from Leif with his cards here. He's waited until the absolute opportune moment to bring out Journey Through Limbo. Um, a card that has many uses, and it's very tempting to just be like, you know what, I'm just going to get you out of the game now. But there's always a critical moment in the game, and he's really identified that one here.
I've even seen people. The one time I've seen it being used, it was just to put the incinerate on, and then later in the game, you see such big opportunities like this one to really secure the round. And I think
Mm,
this displacement that's about to happen with Magic is really going to put the last nail in the
yeah.
coffin as far as scoring goes.
And it's great sequencing here as well with his movement tools. By doing the move, then the place, and then the move again, he can check to make sure he's at absolute range, maximum range 2, to limit exactly how far Hulk can come and get back into Magic. And also body block some landing spots. Wow, look at that.
That's
He's
just
almost back. He's actually in line with the back infinity formula.
wow.
Incredible. definitely the power of Supreme Sorcerer Strange in a Hulk matchup is being able to basically do that every turn, um, with the range limitation. But Magic being able to bring that as a once per game as a 3 threat on top of the damage output that she has, she's very underplayed.
Yeah, I like what you were saying before about the cheaper core and not being stuck into that trap of taking the need or the desire to pick up Sorcerer Strange, especially in these situations where everything is so wide and you want to take advantage of your width of your team.
Yep. And I think Convocation really requires and rewards like faction mastery, like understanding when to bring those big threat pieces, when to prioritize the right splashes, and then picking the core to supplement that. You can go down to an 8-point core if you wanted Magic Mordo Wong. So there's a lot of list building and roster building that you can do with Convocation, and they really reward someone for putting in a lot of time and effort, which Leaf definitely has.
I think the boys are now just finalizing the last few steps by talking out what the board state will look like.
Yep, absolutely. That was I mean, the back was already broken, but that was the finishing blow there, sending Hulk into the netherworld. You just get out of here, Hulk.
Yeah. What do you think of the game? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was a fantastic game. A lot of really interesting decision points the whole way through. Good back and forth. After Azza had that massive round 3, I thought he was back in it, but some really, really big activation from Voodoo round 4 sealed it for Leaf there. How about yourself?
Yeah, I thought it was a really entertaining game. I really enjoyed seeing the really high level and high ability to understand and anticipate the threat that Hulk. I mean, you see Hulk typically put in the center, but the B obviously meant that he would have to commit to one side, and I think Leaf had a really good strategy in place to minimize the effect that Hulk had on the board.
Mm,
So I think that's what really led him to
absolutely.
victory. All right, we'll leave these
And
boys.
also,
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
you go, mate.
no, I was just going to say, like, and also his ability to read and react from deployment, with Voodoo switching up to the top side but not contesting the points, Lizard coming into the center from the top flank as well. Bit of bait and switch, and reading and reacting to what Aaron had done was really good, really nicely played.
We'll let these boys have a few more moments to just post game talk and um, finalize their thoughts, and then we'll jump in and have a few questions with them.
Yeah, it sounds great. The Lizard play for me, I think, was fantastic. Um, he's such a ubiquitous piece of convocation at the moment with his they need forward pieces, they need forward presence, and you can see he's really got a good mastery of him.
All right, I think the boys are ready to have a chat, so I'll see you in there.
All right.
G'day, gents.
Hey, man.
Good day.
Fantastic game from both of you. We'll just wait for my co-host to come and join us. But you guys all right? Happy to have a few post-game questions. You okay with that?
Yeah, man, shoot him out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Here he is.
Gentlemen, well played game. Fantastic.
Oh, it was all right.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'll start with the congratulations to you, Lee. Fantastic work with securing the win. And to you, Aaron, we both really enjoyed the game. There were some big swing turns and some great dice thrown around and some good strategy seen from both of you. So really enjoyable game to go. I'll start with some quick questions that I'm sure my co-host will help me out with that as well. So Leif, just to start with you, you
Yep.
typically see with Convocation a lot of desire to bring a Doctor Strange as a leader. With the crisis selection that happened at turn 0, did you immediately think to yourself, with the width and the points available on the team, I'm going to leave him at home and go for a cheaper call? Was that your strategy going in?
No, my final debate on setup, because like when I looked at setup, I'm like, okay, it's definitely Lizard, because I'm like, yeah, Lizard can threaten this canister. It's definitely Fury, because Fury can double grab these. So it was like, okay, is my Convocation core Voodoo, Mordo, and Magic, or is it Strange, Wong, and a 3? And I decided in the end that it's like, Voodoo Possess is just,
Yeah.
it's just too good.
Too good, isn't it?
Yeah. Although Strange throwing people out to the Twilight Zone is a good way to control a Hulk.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Voodoo's
Yeah.
influence on the table was just like personified by your first activation that round 4. Just the work he got done, that was just disgusting. Aaron, over to you, mate. With your turn 0 setup, obviously going a little bit more narrow with your Hulk inclusion, And being the B shape that it was, I noticed that you put your 2 true attrition pieces with Panther and Hulk onto one side. Was your game plan basically to just to bounce onto Voodoo as early as possible and put him in the dirt and take that option offline? Walk me through your thoughts there.
No, it was definitely an option. I kind of looked at it at the turn 0 and just kind of picked my comfortable 17. I actually don't like Hulk on B shapes, to be honest. It's not really a thing I like to do, but I just thought I've been playing him so much this season that I thought I'd just bust him out again. I wanted to see what Leif was going to do with Voodoo and who was it? Voodoo and Lizard,
Lizard. Yeah.
because you had Lizard over here as well. And if they did kind of like go that far left, and I was going to try to work stuff out, I guess. But yeah, it was just one I kind of want to put him in an awkward position as well. So I don't think that he wanted to stand with Voodoo next to Hulk the whole game. So unlucky not to
Nope.
daze him, but it's all good.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I actually missed a trick on turn 0 because I should have had Voodoo. If Voodoo had been half an inch further this way, he could have picked up that spider infected in one action and walked back to over here.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching,
And then my whole team would have been. Yeah, I just didn't. It wasn't a thing I was thinking of at turn 0. I should have just sketched him. Because I dropped him dead center. I should have just sketched him over a little this way, just so he could back up Lizard if he needed to.
Yeah, Leif, while we're watching from the angle for the stream was happening, I assumed that you were within 1, and then
I looked at the thing and I'm like, it's like a quarter inch out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we typically talk about like big impactful moments in the game that kind of really like different lines of play that you can choose as one kind of decision point. And before I pass off to my co-host, there was one in particular, I thought it was round 2 with Hulk, where you were in this sticky situation where the fallback was online and Voodoo's kind of escaping away from you, and you decided to fall back onto the canister to secure your 1 point. Did you consider potentially using your full movement with your Gamma and then going for the strike? And if you didn't finish him off after the fallback happened, to potentially use Avengers Assembled to chase him down?
I actually did. I sat there for a while, and I'm just trying to weigh up if it was worth, because it's pretty much only going to be on Hulk and maybe a Panther in the back corner as well. I wasn't too sure what Lizard was doing, so I did think about it, but I guess I just decided not to do it in the end. I think I went back to sit on the canister just for the extra power for next turn, because I thought next turn I might be able to then assemble Gamma Leap and then be on the mid board ready to throw this truck, hopefully, but I think I was out of range.
Perfect. All right, I'll pass over to Cheese Debris to answer more questions. Sorry, ask.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, cheers. Well played game for both of you. Congratulations, Leif, on the win. The main one, the inflection point that I had as well was just the whole going back into the point and not kind of being able to roll back down in. Another big point there was when you were trying to go for the, as it is for you, bouncing the shield throw into Voodoo off of Fury. Did you consider using Recalibration Matrix offensively to try and get that daze on him when he was sitting on top of the size 4?
No, I didn't at all, actually. I didn't consider that just because I was pretty comfortable like Hulk was going to do it. I was actually very glad. I was like, yeah, Hulk's going to be able to do this with a throw. And I was considering, if you remember that line of play, that actual turn, Hulk did through the size 4 he was standing on into Fury. And
He did, yeah.
And I was assuming he was going to live on either 1 or 2, depending on like which way it kind of fell down. And then I was going to do a no matter the cost spender, because then if I roll that wild, it's got a throw on there as well. So, and I was going to try and throw them into each other. So,
okay.
I thought it was going to be pretty comfortable to do it, and that's why you might have seen when he was over there, I was debating just rolling a 7 dice strike into him that last 2, or if I'd still go through with the no matter the cost to do the extra dice and throw them away. But
interesting, yeah.
It's probably good that didn't work out, because I could have Convocation, because Fury was like just in range to throw in, and Convocation bump would have dropped Fury over here.
True.
Yeah,
Does the
like if
throw
you
happen before the bump? Oh no, the throw happened after.
no, because the throw was a
after
completely
the,
different superpower. Yeah, it was
I was about to
superpower
ask
throw.
that,
So after
actually.
that resolves, right, Fury would be sitting over here.
Mate, that's too,
And
too
may or
much
may
to
not.
consider all the bloody convocation bumps. It's just too
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's a big mental load trying to work out what's happening with that convocation bump. And Leif, like, hats off to you. Like, I played a bit of convocation, and that was a bit of a masterclass as far as using the bump on things like Lizard late in the game as well, to get out of range of follow-up attacks, to limit where throws could go. Like, really fantastic play. The one question I did have for you was on when Voodoo lived through the Hulk activation, and you had the choice of whether to go with that, and you went for a single move and then put an attack into Steve. Were you trying to KO him to limit Panther being able to walk, daze, Lizard, and then pounce? Like, what was the choice there? Because you put yourself into potentially getting dazed by Panther.
Yeah, well, Voodoo kind of needed to get back into the action, I think. Right, it put Voodoo on the point, so he was scoring 2. A little risky because Panther had 1 shot at him, but also Pulldack was up that turn, so it was 5 dice, reroll any into Steve's 2.
Yes, yeah, that's
Right,
right.
it's kind of like, this is my last great chance to
With
put
the
damage into
potential
Steve.
of when Recal was still online, I think Steve still had the power for Recal, but
Yeah, he did, but
yep, yeah, it's an interesting decision point, yeah, but no, extremely well played game by you. I thought it was fantastic. And congratulations for moving on to the top 8 now.
Thank you.
Leif, I have to commend you, mate. You have absolute balls of steel by waiting with the brace. That first terrain throw into Voodoo, both of us were just like, oh, that's a brace. And then there was a second terrainal collision, and you still didn't use brace. I was just so impressed, mate. Well done.
Yep, that was fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of times in Convocation, I actually like getting something thrown into you if it's not going to kill you can actually be a great thing because you could just use the bump to screw up ranges. Like I really didn't want to brace on Voodoo to start because not bracing on Voodoo meant that Hulk had to walk in order to punch me.
The combination of fallback with the leadership bump gives you like some really interesting play lines for getting out of dodge with someone like Voodoo. So it's a good combination. One thing I did want to ask you actually is you managed to assemble the full Infinity Gauntlet in your lead-up games where you played 6 different affiliations, which like hats off to you. That's like actually incredible. How did you decide what to play for this game, and was Aaron only being a Steve Rogers specialist a big factor in that, in playing the Convocation?
I actually, so in my roster, I have some Space Power Thanos. And there's a bunch of jank that I want to do with him, or I like to do with him, that I don't know that I'm going to run anymore once the crises change.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, so there's a good chance that I'm going to use these last playoff games to just be like, hey, this is a cool thing you can do with the old crisis setup. Because Thanos is pretty ridiculous on Legacy if I draw on it.
Is that Power Thanos, is it?
Space Power.
Yeah. I've seen
So turn 1, he can eye on the prize, and he just walks, grabs one, grabs another, spaces back, sitting about right here with 2 Legacy Cures. And then you can just have, depending on the points, if it's high enough, you can have both Voodoo and Black Cat just stalking the other one.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And yeah, and then right, so it's like you got to go beat up Thanos, but Thanos's job is now just to stay alive and keep things away from him, and maybe punch stuff out when he can. And then Voodoo and Black Cat are just gonna work till they get that and can bring it back to him.
Puts that Steve shenanigan nonsense to shame, doesn't it, mate? Boys, before I let you guys go, again, congratulations, Leif, and to you, Aaron. Both a tremendous game. We both really enjoyed it. Before we let you go, just wanted to quickly get your thoughts. I know super hot takes on like the new changes that have come through. Leif, I'll start with you. How are you feeling about the new changes? Are we feeling good, reinvigorated, healthy for the game?
Super excited. I've been wanting a crisis shake up for a good while. The secures they didn't do a lot with, but the extracts all feel very new, very different. It's going to be there's a whole wealth of new options and new things to explore there, which is pretty cool. And Malekith taking a little bit of a hit to the knees also, I think, widens things back up again.
Couldn't agree more. Aaron, yourself, your thoughts?
Yeah, same, man. I've actually not been playing that long, so I've been playing for less than a year, so I don't have any of that sort of crisis fatigue stuff going on, which a lot of other people do. But in saying that, I'm still excited I'm excited now that I've lost the game actually to get to kind of dive into the Crisis, just because it was in this weird situation where you kind of want to focus on the old ones still because you're still playing your Cats games. But I'm excited to try some new things. I'm not too sure if Shadowlands Daredevil on Sanities is okay or not, but we'll see how that one plays out.
We were talking about that in the lead up.
Yeah, we were.
Quite good.
Corey's all over it.
Oh, mate, it's dirty. It's dirty.
Another one is bloody the control Thanos though as well. On is it the new one, the Paranoia? Like that's also a bit awkward with the what do you call it, cosmic portaling people around, and just you can really mess with their scoring.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yep.
paranoia.
I think Paranoia's. Look, I don't want to get into it. This is not the time or space, but Paranoia's a very
yeah.
interesting one. Yeah. Boys, yeah, fantastic job, well done. And Leif, you continue to be the Oceanic Slayer with Finkstar on the belt, and now we've added
Oh,
Aaron
wow.
onto the belt as well.
Rough.
Great game,
Vengeance
gents.
for all those times Morgan's taken me out.
All right,
Good, man.
thanks.
Cheers for the game. Thank you very much.
All right,
Yeah, great game.